Hey guys, so we're back again with another video. If you guys are new to the channel, my name's Alphie and I'm a fourth year medical student studying in London. So this past week has been pretty crazy to say the least. There's been so many new articles, emails, messages surrounding the situation of the coronavirus. So I wanted to give a quick update for what's happening to me in London and what's happening in regards to my medical school. So last week I was in the middle of completing my third week of my gastro rotation. And once I completed that, I was meant to move on to my third term rotation at the Whittington Hospital, where I was meant to be doing specialties like neuro, endo, and renal. But things all changed after I got an email on Friday. It has been clear over the last 48 hours that a combination of a rapidly escalating number of cases and therefore potential exposures to patients with confirmed or suspected COVID-19 and the extreme pressures on the NHS, including redeployment of potential clinical teachers, means having our students on clinical placements is no longer possible. From 5 p.m. today, Friday the 13th of March, all UCL medical students will be withdrawn from clinical placements until 1st of May 2020. So this means that for any clinical medical students, we can't go into the hospitals for things like bedside teaching, lectures, surgeries, and things like that. And so this means that the medical school is effectively cancelled. Well, for now anyways. At first, there wasn't any information regarding the exams, but 2 days ago I got an email which basically said that if things do get better, the medical school hopes to carry on the written examination as usual in July. If things don't get better, then the exam would likely be online. And in terms of our practical examination, also known as OSCEs, the same case sort of applies. So if things are better, then they want to resume the exam same as usual in July, but if not, then this was likely going to be cancelled. Compared to other medical schools, I have heard of some cases where a whole year group is being progressed into the next year, and then they'll be assessed at a later point. And I think the reason that that can happen for some schools is because they've maybe done some assessments or exams earlier on in the year. Whereas for anyone at UCL, all our exams are at the end of the academic year. And so they're trying to figure out what we can do in this situation. So after all this news, a lot of students started flying back home. And so this meant that a lot of my close friends who are international students started flying back to places like Hong Kong and Singapore, where if you're flying back from places like the UK, you'll have a 14-day home quarantine. And so for me, I was always kind of struggling between deciding on staying here or going back to Hong Kong. But I think the main reason that I'm staying here is if things do get better and clinical placements do resume back on May 1st, then there isn't too much of a point for me to go back for a short period of time where I'm going to be quarantined for 2 weeks anyways. And obviously I do miss the family back home, but the decision I made right now is to stay. If things do get progressively worse, then the option to go back is always there. So I'll see what will happen with that. So far I've been quite lucky, and my two other flatmates have decided to stay in the flat. And so we've just all decided to stay in London. I'm sure that wherever you are in the world, if you've been out to the shops, then you know how difficult it is. If you look at shelves, things like toilet paper is gone, meat is gone, pasta is gone, and things like that. So times are definitely a lot more hectic and chaotic. About a week ago, I went off to Chinatown to try to stock up on things like rice, just so I can be a little bit more prepared. It kind of feels like deja vu to see my family in Hong Kong who went through all of this a couple of weeks ago, and then for me to now experience this over here. So during these chaotic and difficult times, it's easy to feel overwhelmed with all the information that you're going to see in the news, in the media and things like that. But I'd say to try your best and be positive and think of how you can make the best use of your time. So if you're at home and you get to spend more time with your family, then appreciate that and enjoy it. If you want to spend your time studying, if you want to get the grade that you want, then go out there and get that. But for me, during this time, I'll be editing a few more videos. So stay tuned to the channel and keep an eye out for it. But that pretty much wraps up everything I have to say. I hope you guys stay safe. I hope you guys keep washing your hands. And until then, I'll see you guys in the next video.